Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kev Indiana Jones Show. I am, of course, Kev Indiana Jones. Allergies and pollen and all that shit. Yeah, Monday night. Yay! This is a good time. A good time of the day to do a show. I feel like it's been a good week. I've had my gum surgery. As you can see, I have this like putty like gauze inside and out. See, what they do is they torture me and I pay them for it, and it's unfortunately not sexual in any way. That'd be nice for the price I pay, but no, that's not what's happening. Anywho, yeah, so it's not super noticeable. At least I haven't really been too bothered by it. So I've done a decent job of healing, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It's going well. It's going well. I get this stuff hopefully taken out Friday, all the stitches inside too. Dental bone graft. If you want to look it up, go ahead and look it up, because it's rough. It's rough. I don't want to talk about it because there might be sensitive ears, and it's intense. It's intense. But anywho, yeah. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the villains of Indiana Jones today with Shane Smith, Indy McFly. Isn't that going to be fantastic? That's going to be the first time he's been on the show. But first, we of course got to talk about This Week in Indy. I got this randomly on eBay. I found this. I don't know how. I was looking for just indie stuff, and then boom, this showed up. The script for the Temple of Doom. It's not too varied at all from what I can see from the actual movie. It seems to be a transcript, if anything, because it seems word for word the same. But I haven't read it fully, so there might be differences in there. I'm not too sure. But man, this thing is cool. This thing is so cool. And at the end, it has really, really high quality pictures. I like the way they feel. It's a neat little addition to my Indiana Jones collection. There is one for Last Crusade that I'm eyeing. I'm not too sure. It's $50, but $50 is a lot of money to spend on something I'm not really probably going to use that much. But when has that stopped me before? Yeah, so that's pretty damn cool. There's a Raiders one that's like $1,700 or some shit like that. No, just no. Especially if it's just a simple script like this, because this is just from Premiere Magazine. No, that's not the one. It was like $170. Also no, but the one that's like $1,700 is an actual Last Crusade script from Lucasfilm. That'd be pretty cool to have, but that's, that money can go to this. That's almost exactly how much these things cost. So that was a wonderful addition. So that's where they go now. Bing bang, boom. Also, this past Friday, I went to see Raiders of the Lost Ark. Of course, it's mirrored right now, but when it's played back later on YouTube, it's going to be properly situated. Yeah, so I went to see this Friday at the Museum of Moving Image in here in Astoria, Queens, with my best friend of 20 years, almost 20 years, Rich. That was really cool to do it with also a couple of the Indy Joneses from the local area with Ed Crusader. Crusader Indy? Crusader Jones. Now I'm getting them confused because I had Byron Styron on last week. Brian Styron. He's Crusader Indy, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. There's so many Crusader Indies and Crusader / Indies, blah, blah, blah. We'll get to the bottom of that eventually. So that was really, really amazing to go to do this for a beautiful print. I've never seen it look or sound better. It was very, very exciting to do that. In costume, also. I was wearing the costume, and we had a really good time. It was a really good time walking around the museum, just having people go like, what the hell is this guy doing? Every now and then they'd interact with us. A couple people knew exactly what our shoes were. That was really cool. That we have Alden boots on. That was impressive. A couple of dudes actually came up to Matt and I and were like, are those Aldens? So there's love out there, and hopefully they'll be watching this one day. That'd be pretty neat. But yeah, that was really fun to do, especially with the Muppets exhibit that's always there, and there's a Mission Impossible exhibit, so you get to see actual props from the movies. That was fantastic. They had the glasses and the knife from the first movie, not the knife, Or they maybe did have the knife, but I didn't see that. I didn't look at the stuff from the new movie. I know some things from the past movies play into this new movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going next Monday to IMAX, actually. I'm going to the real IMAX in New York City. That's going to be so cool. It's a little overwhelming sometimes because that is a massive screen. But if there's a reason to go to an IMAX screen, it's for a Mission Impossible movie. That's for damn sure. So yeah, that'll be a blast. I'll be doing that next Monday, and I will be just wearing jackets until then, basically, because they came. This is my Steel and Jones Temple of Doom, end of Temple of Doom and village scene in lambskin, chocolate lambskin, I believe it is, with the beautiful wrinkles in it, just built-in wrinkles. Oh my God, and the way it smells. Oh, no, that's a good shot of it too. See, this is what it's all about. The wrinkles. My God. I really am a big fan of this jacket. I love how it feels because it doesn't feel new whatsoever. It feels like it has been through some shit. It's been on some adventures, and I love that. Here's the back real quick. And I don't know if I'm going to wear the other one I have that much, but of course I'm going to keep it because Diego made it for me. So I'm gonna keep that motherfucker. I'm not going to sell that. And then the other thing that showed up was the truck chase jacket, which is, I don't know if I have to pick between the two, but this is one amazing jacket. You can tell that he went all out with this. It's got those beautiful wrinkles above the pocket on both sides. It'd be weird if I just got one side totally weathered, one side not weathered, and it'd just be Two-Face for Indiana Jones. And the back, I guess the leather that he found for this jacket, I don't know if this is the first to use it, but he was just like, can you believe that I got this? Can you believe the quality of it? And no, I cannot believe the quality of this because it looks like it was ripped out of the movie. I swear to you, he has the magic ticket from Last Action Hero, and he just takes these things. I don't know how he does it. And I just love him so much. This is what I wore on Friday. And it was really fucking hot wearing this, walking around the museum, but it was still fun as hell. It was still fun as hell. I didn't care. You can't care. I mean, sweat's part of it. As people were like, isn't it hot in that? And I was like, sweat is part of this outfit. And that got a couple good laughs. That was all right. But yeah, that was so cool. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, folks, whether you're watching now or on Instagram. I really appreciate the views. I really appreciate the interactions, I guess. I don't know. All the love that you give. I really appreciate that. It's really awesome. I really like that a lot, that we have this together with the indie community and other people too. Other people can tune in. It doesn't have to be indie cosplayers, and I love that. Some people do tune in that I see that aren't a part of the cosplay community, and that makes me proud. That's a neat thing. So yeah, let's get this show on the road. We are going to talk to a guy that I've been friends with since almost the beginning of this whole cosplay thing, because I saw that he was doing Crusade, I believe, and I didn't see too many other people doing that, and he did it very well. And he's one hell of a cosplayer. He actually, I think he's been to some amazing locations. I don't know if it was, I think the Grand Canyon, I think he went there. And the pictures that he's taken in this outfit is just unreal. Like that's gotta feel awesome to do. I mean, I know I've been to Yosemite and done that, but to be in other locations and just see the grand nature of nature, it's got to be something else, especially in this stuff. I know I felt that for a moment when I was looking at the mountains, and that was really cool. But so yeah, we're gonna be talking to Indy McFly himself, Shane Smith, about the villains of Indiana Jones, and maybe a couple topics at the end. Who's to say? So let's get him on. Oh, I'm gonna do a screen record real quick. Oh shit, I should have done that before. Are you there? I'm being an asshole right now and worrying about me. Okay, but it rang. Are you there? Hello? Hello, computer. Uh, well, this happens every week. It's quite all right. Now, I don't want to remove you from this. I want you to join me. What did I? Oh, that's the wrong button. I see. Okay. Yeah, I just I keep on hitting the wrong button. Let's try to Let's try to make this happen, Indy McFly. There we go. Come on, please. Oh, Instagram. Oh, there we go. Hey, there we are.
We did it.
Bingo.
How's it going, man?
Good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, this is our first time actually talking. I'm super excited about this.
I know. I've been thinking about that. That it's like we've known each other for years, and this is the actual first time I get to hear your voice, and it's so it's nice to officially meet you in fluid motion.
Yeah, yeah. Nice to meet you too.
So, oh, look at this. What? Hmm, hmm, hmm.
I got this because I was going to be on your show. This is a terrible cup.
I only use it during this show.
Yeah,
I never use it otherwise.
like what? It's like so flat. Where do you drink out of it? It's
The angle I find is the best way right here
the
to make
corner.
it best for sippings.
Hmm.
That works all right. It's not so bad, but yeah, it's not great, but it's cool looking at least.
It is
As is the
cool.
background. Look at this room you got there. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Oh man, that's so cool. So what hat are you wearing right now? A jacket?
This is the Crusade Poet, dark deep sable
Hmm.
rabbit. And then this is Shrunken Lamb, Wested Raiders, and then this is my the steel. Yeah,
I got that
my,
too.
yeah,
I
yeah,
got that too. The Shrunken Lamb from Wested always kind of scared me to try out, but every time I see someone with it, I'm like, shit, I should have done that. They're beautiful looking.
I think it's really nice. Although I weathered this thing before I went to the Dial premiere, and like it healed. Like I have to weather it again because all the aging went
Yep.
away.
My the truck shapes I had that I sold from Wested, I had to weather it like 8 times because every time I did it, it kept on coming back.
Yeah,
It kept on coming back to life. It was insane.
it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh man, but you look terrific. It's great to have you on the show. It's nice to officially have you on the show finally. And let's get going with the Kevin 11 or 12. Might turn into 12 or 13.
Okay.
Um, let's first talk about the villains of Indiana Jones, which is something I haven't really gotten into fully in this show. And I love that there's still topics I can bring up. So the first big one we meet in the franchise is Belloq, and we see kind of right off the bat that he's a smart dude. He's a not a physical fighter or anything like that. We never see them fight or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
But I mean, Belloq himself considers himself a worthy adversary of Indiana Jones. How do you feel about the character Belloq?
I think Belloq is one of the more interesting villains, just because, like you said, he's not a fist villain; he's a brain villain, right? Like, um, I was watching like a behind the scenes thing the other day from the Last Crusade, like extra features or whatever, and Spielberg was there, and he mentioned these guys, and he called them champagne villains, which is I think that's like the perfect name for them. These just guy, they just are kind of schmoozy. Um, but I feel like how like Batman has certain villains that are like fist villains, right? Like you got your Bane or whatever, and then you have your ones that are like, oh, now he gets to show off that he's a detective. Like you got the Riddler and stuff.
Right.
I think for Indy, Belloq is like his brain villain. Like he gets to show off like, I'm a damn good archaeologist, and I'm gonna find this thing before you find it. And it's really like a brain challenge. And I think Belloq is super interesting in that way. It's cool.
That's dead on. Perfectly said. It's like almost a Lex Luthor to a Superman, where
Exactly.
it's not about physical fighting. It's about he can outmatch you there.
Yep. Yep.
That's
And
pretty fantastic. I've always liked the character Belloq quite a bit because maybe it's the fact that he is a champagne villain, kind of a James Bond sort of dude. That he's
yeah,
probably
yeah,
got a yacht. He's probably got a butler or two back home.
yeah,
You know, Almighty Belloq. Hello. There are two other main villains in Raiders. We get a lot of bad guys on Raiders. Dietrich and Tote. They
yes,
are both just pure evil. But of course, Dietrich throws a melon at a dog, and that pretty much makes him the worst villain of all the franchise. I gotta
yeah,
say, a Nazi hurting a dog, you motherfucker. Yeah,
yeah,
I can't wait to see your face melt. But no, his face blows up. No, what happens to his face? It gets sucked in, and then Toad blows up.
right,
No, Toad's the one that melts. Never mind. Toad's the
yeah,
one that
yeah,
melts.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which of the two do you like the most?
I
They're
think.
death wise.
Oh, in terms of the death,
Yeah.
I think Tote, and I've seen you've probably seen it too, the candle that you can buy that's like Tote's head. I think that's so fun. I've never gotten it, but I think I need to get it just so I can put it somewhere. I want to melt Tote's head.
That would
And
be
I think Tote is the creepiest villain of like the whole franchise. He's so creepy.
absolutely. Like even his haircut is creepy. That always
Yeah.
just shave it off, pal. You're losing the battle. Just let it
Yeah,
go.
yeah. He's even creepy the way he like wipes the sweat off his brow. Like it's like he does like these little things. You're like, dude, this guy just makes my skin crawl.
And the way he laughs.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's so weird. He's so
Oh man,
weird.
I never thought of that, but he is indeed the creepiest. Like even Molaron would be like, "Hey guy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
can you
Muller's
not
like,
look at me in the eyes?"
I don't want to have lunch with this guy. I'm gonna, chatter loud. You want falafel? Let's go get to see if this guy, like, whatever.
Oh, he's here. All
Right.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go to IHOP. But yeah,
Right.
Dietrich is also he doesn't really get too much to do in that movie, but he does get his really good comeuppance. Do you think they just kind of were like, we already got so many villains, we're not gonna give him that much. He's a Nazi, whatever.
Yeah, Dietrich is like almost like a side character, right? Like even Vogel gets more to do in Last Crusade than Dietrich.
Oh,
Um,
big time.
I've never even thought of Dietrich as like one of the main villains from the movie. I think of him as almost like a henchman, like just a side dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. I
he's
mean,
he's good. He's a good villain, but he's kind of just he's gonna be over there.
it's just weird that they needed. I guess they had three ideas. Like we got three cool ways to kill someone. Who are we
Right.
gonna? Let's just bring them up there, or whatever. Let's have them up there.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we actually see. I forgot to bring that up to begin with. That we see right off the bat bad guys in Indy's life. It kind of seems like them shits follows him everywhere he goes. Like at the beginning of Raiders, those
Yeah.
those dudes are just double crossing him. That's got to happen to him left and right his whole life.
Oh yeah. Well, you remember what his dad said to him, and he said it happens to me all the time. Everyone's always trying to kill me.
Well, there's bad guys and good guys. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see that he also kind of has enemies on every continent in every country.
True.
We see him facing off against Lao Tse and all that. Do you think
Mm.
seeing him battling just a random, real quick beginning of the movie bad guy in a different continent, does that build his mythos to be like kind of a beyond Bond kind of in a way?
I think so. I was thinking about this the other day and how the beginning of every movie is the end of a movie we haven't seen before. Um, that whatever the first scene is of a movie we're watching is the climax of some other, right. Like at the beginning of Dial of Destiny, he fights that dude on the train,
Hmm.
and I'm forgetting all the names, but the main bad guy, he's like a side character in that opening scene. But the dude that he fights on the train, it's like that's like a huge moment for him, and I
Yeah.
feel like every time you see one of those like opening scenes, it's like, man, this guy must have done something awesome. Like, yeah, Voller, thank you. Yeah, it's like I think it totally builds him up because there's so many things that you just want to see. It makes you want more.
I always personally wanted more of that story indeed, just to see how the whole short round thing came up. How he got the diamond. I think that's a topic in one of the video games, but like that would be great for an animated series or something like that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Totally. I feel like the diamond was in a Young Indiana Jones thing. It was on the TV show, I think.
Was it the Peacock's Eye? Is that what it
Yep.
is?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
right. That wasn't an episode. Oh, man, I gotta watch that again. I think there's someone on YouTube that has been remastering them with the original scenes with old Indy, which is how
Oh
I
yeah.
prefer to watch it because that's what
Yeah.
I saw as a kid and that's what I would want to see. I just remember being a little kid and thinking like, oh, this is learning stuff. Oh, this isn't really super Indiana Jonesy. This is learning stuff. But
Yeah.
now that I'm older, I really want to go back and revisit them.
I think the only one that I saw and had as a kid was the Peacock's Eye one. I had that on VHS. So
That's
there's
right.
so much of that I have not seen that I need to go back. And obviously, I've seen like the Mystery of the Blues opening because that's like
Right.
you have to see. That's required viewing. But The rest of it I have not watched.
That episode is actually pretty good. I think it's who's in it? Jeffrey Wright is in that, I believe,
Oh wow,
and
okay.
I think a couple other people that are now bigger actors.
Mm,
It's a pretty good episode, as a matter of fact. Plus, I like the blues and jazz. So
yeah.
that doesn't hurt. So yeah, in Temple of Doom, the main bad guys are, of course, Molaram and the Thogi.
Mm.
This time we get to see Indy actually fight the villain with his fists. Um,
Yes.
do you find that to be more satisfying than an indirect victory?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. In a way, maybe yes, because you feel like, I mean, you get those sounds, right? That there's nothing that's such a good sound. You want to hear that sound, and I feel like there's the argument that like, oh, if Indy was never in Raiders, the same thing would have happened. They would have taken the Ark and they would open it and they all would have died, and
Right.
Indy didn't do anything. And I feel like if he's there and he beats the guy, maybe there's something more to that that's interesting to watch, and you get the excitement of like that Spielberg choreographed action.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean,
Yeah,
I love it myself. Yeah, it's kind of like a something that I grew up with, like Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. You kind of want to see a fight with the main bad guy, and not just
yeah,
like not see his comeuppance through natural occurrences. You know?
right. And there's also that like you spend 2 hours hating this person, and you're like, this guy needs a punch in the face, right? And then you're like, Indy's gonna go do it for me, and Indy goes in there and he starts wailing on somebody, and you're like, get him.
Right?
Yeah,
So in the next one, we get some double crossing Nazi bastards
yep.
in the Last Crusade. Donovan, as you watch it, he's pretty clearly the bad guy right from the start. But how did you feel about Elsa turning out to be, not so great?
Do you feel like you knew that Donovan was bad from the first time you saw him?
When I heard his voice, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
It wasn't like a oh, I thought yeah, okay, yeah, no, the way he like was dressed and like being all
Yeah.
fancy and shit, that
Yeah.
seemed like a bad guy kind of thing to
Okay.
be.
Okay.
But Elsa threw me. That one I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
because even when the dad is saying, don't listen to her, and
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, shut up. I'm not listening. I'm not listening to you.
Yeah. I in that same behind the scenes thing that I watched before, Spielberg described her as a spy, which I never thought about before, but she is a spy, right? She's undercover, she's
Yeah,
sneaking around, and she's almost like the proto Mac, right? Don't hate me, Daniel, but she's like a good version of Mac. I think that's what
right.
Mac could have been, right? Like she is on his side, and as soon as she gets what she wants, she's like, okay, the mask is off. I got what I want. We got the journal or the diary.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I think that was a good twist. I think when I was a kid, that surprised me, and I think she's very smart. She's sneaky, but she's smart.
Absolutely. I kind of liked her the most out of all the girls
Yeah.
in the movies when I was growing up. What do you, if she had lived, what do you think would have happened between her and Indy?
Oh, I think I think she would have left him. I feel like she wasn't really interested in him. She kissed him and stuff, and she followed him around, but I feel like she was just there for the Grail, and once she didn't have that, she was probably going to go look for the next thing that she wanted to get.
Right.
Yeah.
It's ours, it's yours and mine, but, mostly mine.
Right. Right. Yeah.
The, um, the, the best villain, in my opinion, in the Indy movies is Vogel. Like you brought him up before, that he has more to do
Yep.
as more than just a henchman. I consider him to be up there because of that battle on the tank.
Yeah.
Um, what is your favorite part of the battle on the tank against Vogel?
Ooh, I think okay. I got my favorite part on the about the battle of the tank is when the Indy's hanging from the cannon, and Voller looks down at the guy in the driving it, and he says, "Go against the wall," and because that is like such a brutal thing. That's not your Bond villain. Like, oh, I'm gonna put you on the rope, but I'm not gonna press the button. Like, that's a guy that's like, I'm gonna kill this guy right now.
Kill him right now. Right?
Hit the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he almost did it. And I think that just shows how brutal Voller is. Like, Vogel. Like, he won't hold back.
That's a hell of a good thing to say.
Yeah.
That's a great point. And
And
then
grinding
Chris,
his face on this thing. That's great. That's also brutal. Like,
he's fucking
yeah,
evil. Pure evil Nazi
yeah,
bastard.
yeah,
My personal favorite moment in the tank scene is when he's bashing his head into the
oh,
entry point. That just is so satisfying to watch,
yeah,
and you got to believe that Spielberg was like, yes, do more, do
yeah.
more.
The other thing that I just noticed for the first time the other day, and I've seen it a million times, but I never paid attention to it, is when he's on the tank and he comes out and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go fight this guy. He's wearing like an ascot or something, and he like takes it off and he's like unbuttons his shirt, like he's like, take my earrings off. I'm gonna go, like,
Okay, all
yeah,
right,
yeah,
we
yeah,
gonna do this?
yeah, exactly, yeah. Hold my beer.
I never noticed that either, actually, as a matter
Yeah,
of fact.
yeah.
Well,
He's
I'm
like,
going to see
all
it
right,
in 2 weeks on the big screen, so I won't be able to miss it when that
yep,
happens.
yep.
Um, so in the next one, Crystal Skull, we got Russian bad guys in that one. How did you feel about them replacing the Nazis?
Time-wise, it makes sense.
Hmm.
I think if you're gonna bring them back, like I think the way that they did it in Dial of Destiny is like the only way you could do it. It's like these are the leftovers, and they're trying to, get back to the good old days or whatever. But in the
Right.
50s, if you're not gonna have Germans, you're gonna have the Russians. Um,
True.
and I feel like they don't have the kind of maybe not the same gravitas as the Nazis, right? They're everyone knows they're bad, but they're kind of like, yeah. Um,
That's a good point.
so I think they were okay. They were okay.
And
Oh,
what do you think of Irina Spalko being the main the bad guy, being not being a woman, but the fact that it was that character? What did you think of her?
I think she was kind of vanilla for me. Is that
Hmm.
I now I have to confess I've only seen that movie like maybe 3 or 4 times. I have not seen it as many times as I've seen the others by far.
It's okay.
But I feel like she was another brain villain, right? She's not a fist villain, although I think she sword fights Mutt, right,
That's
at
true.
one
Yeah,
point.
she does sword fight him. She's a little physical, but she's kind of a mix, honestly, because she's got the smarts for the
Yeah,
most part, but then
yeah,
she's also physical too. That's you got to give it to her, but also that's a big Kate Blanchett thing, because I think Kate Blanchett is an incredible actress to begin with. So
yeah. I mean, yes, she was not a bad villain. I think she was also very creepy, and she had a force of intelligence that was, you know, that was like her main thing, I think. And I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you kind of get a sense that she's got like some kind of like she feels like she's psychic or something. She's
yes,
like, yes, it's kind of supernatural the way her brain is. Like,
yeah, she
she's
thinks she's something special.
yeah.
You know, I've grown to appreciate the movie more just talking about it with folks like you, and
Yeah.
even those who don't like love it so much. We always find something that's interesting about it that kind of elevates it more to a point where I viewed it so much with such not sarcastic eyes, but cynical
Yeah.
eyes. I watched it when I was 28. And it's hard not to be cynical when you're in your late 20s, because that's right on the cusp of becoming who you're going to be. But
Yeah.
at 28, everything fucking sucks. So
Yeah.
I don't know that I ever gave that movie a fair chance whatsoever once
Mm.
I saw that Shia LaBeouf was going to be in it. But there's always going to be things to like about it, except for one fucking thing: Mac. He is the worst character in the whole franchise. And would you agree that at the end of the day, well, if he were to survive all this, he would have been a bad guy and he would have fucked them over again?
Probably. I mean, I I don't hate Mac. Like, he's not one of my complaints about the movie, but
This
I get that he's
interview is over.
oh, yeah. And yeah, um, Daniel's trying to kick me off. I mean, I'm also not a Crystal Skull hater. Like I'm not going to bash on it. I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum.
Yeah, yeah.
My problems with it are mostly that I felt like Indy was kind of on the sidelines. Like once they found Oxley, he was trying. Daniel's flaming me right now.
He's losing
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, I mean, Mac is also. I think he would be in the same boat as Elsa. Just like he's just there to get what he wants. He's a guy that, at the end of the day, whoever's got the paycheck that's the guy he's going to go work for. He's looking out for number one.
That's pretty clear in the character. So yeah, you're probably right about that.
Yeah.
So in the final movie we get in Dial of Destiny, the Nazis return. There's they are always the perfect villain in any movie they appear in. I even used to write, instead of going out and hanging out with kids and getting drunk in my teenage years, I was at home writing stories on my computer. And I used to do a young spy series where, of course, I was the main character. And yeah, you better believe I faced against neo-Nazis many times because those are the best fucking bad guys that a good guy could fight. There's something special about
Yeah.
seeing Indy in particular fighting Nazis in all those movies. Why do you think that is?
I think that Indiana Jones is like such a 1930s, 40s kind of character. There's so much of him that's like that. It's built around that, right? It's like that pulp stuff at the time, and it's like in the 30s and 40s, people were still discovering stuff. There were still things to go find for the first time.
Right.
And the Nazis were famously into acquiring artifacts, and that's like a perfect thing that's at odds with him. I think they just go together, like Indiana Jones and the Nazis, right? It's perfect.
There was this weird feeling that when I was in the big screen at the theater seeing Dial of Destiny for the first time, and you see the swastika, and it's almost like you show up because we're going to see what you're all going to fucking get your asses kicked because Indiana Jones is going to show up. There's something about seeing that symbol, like it's just like, oh, okay, you're going to fucking get it, and seeing that in that movie, it's just like it really harkened back to those old movies. Like right off the bat, it touched that old Spielbergian, just like World War II era things. Even if the first three movies had nothing to do with the actual World War II, because I don't think we weren't involved in it yet, of course.
Yeah.
But it's just it's just such a thing that goes perfectly with the character, and I love that it's also in the video game, for crying out loud. I don't have a question about the video game because I don't know if you played it. Have you played The Great Circle?
I did.
That's a pretty great bad guy, I will say. That the bad guys in that I can't remember the main dude's name, but he was fucking good. That was a really proper Indiana Jones Nazi bad guy for sure.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah. So Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
I think he was pretty much born to play an evil Nazi.
Sorry, Mads.
It's a weird thing to say, and it's unfortunate, and I would hate to ever say that to him.
Yeah.
But it's true. How did you feel about his character and his plan?
I think that it's super easy to put a Nazi into the movie and be like, oh, they're just going to do Nazi things, right? But I think that when you find out that his plan is he wants to go back and get rid of Hitler and take over himself, that's such a devious twist, right? Like you're like, oh man, this guy is kind of crazy.
It's kind of
all Nazis are
terrifying. Like Hitler's not doing enough. Like Jesus fucking Christ, that's terrifying.
Right. And when he's in the hotel room and that black guy comes and serves him breakfast or whatever, and he starts saying those things to him, you're like, I was like grossed out by what he was saying.
Yep.
And then he's like,
ready to see him die. Yeah,
and then he said, "You didn't lose the war; Hitler lost it." And I was like, "Oh man, like this guy is bad. He's a bad guy."
That shit was nuts, man. That was really nuts.
And at the end, when he snaps, like when he loses it because they know that they're not going to the right place, like he becomes unhinged and he just goes crazy. Like yeah.
It's such a satisfying moment. They really handled that quite well, I gotta say. for it not to have been Spielberg. It took a viewing or two to be like, well, I don't know if I like the way he died, but he did die. He These villains tend to get what they want and they get killed from it.
Yeah.
He went back in time. He could have taken over everything going back in that time, but nope, he died.
Yeah.
And there's seeing him all burnt up and shit was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right,
The villain is always killed by the artifact, right? The
yeah,
MacGuffin always kills the villain, and he was killed by. He went back in time, and sorry, the Greeks shot you down, right? You went into the middle of a war where you were not supposed to be, and this is your fault because you took us here.
yep.
Sorry. Yeah.
Exactly. Man, it was just really satisfying to see all that shit and to actually see him shoot a Nazi towards the end of the movie was just like,
Yes.
yeah, all right, we got one. Yeah, all right. So
All right.
that covers Indiana Jones. Let's switch gears real quick. We have talked before about our love for Superman.
Uh
What do
huh.
you think of this upcoming movie?
I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
I'm interested in the amount of characters that are in it. I'm hungry for that. I want to know what's happening. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going. And there's like a big thing in the sky. Like it looks like it's like Starro. It's not Starro, but it's like a big like flying thing. Like, what is that?
Star-OS. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was talking with some friends at work the other day about Superman, and I said his weakness is not kryptonite. It's that there's only one of him. He can only be in one place at a time, right? And that's why I love Superman is because he's a god. But if your cat was stuck in a tree, he'd come help you.
Yeah.
He's not above anybody.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm
This I
excited
think
for that.
I
Yeah.
think they're going to really get that quite well. That we haven't seen the gentle side of him, because I mean, I don't know if you saw the video of just him, the actor, playing around with kids in some park. It
Oh
was
man.
just like, oh shit, they okay, that's the right guy. That's definitely
Nice.
they nailed the tone.
Okay. Was he in his costume?
He had like a robe on
Yeah.
for the most part, but he's just like then he just shows kids that he flashes kids and shows them that he's Superman,
Nice.
and he doesn't do that, but these kids are just like, oh wow, and he's like
Yeah.
picking them up like they're nothing because he's a big tall dude, strong
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you could just see the love in their eyes for this character of Superman, even from 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that that's continuing. And I know myself, I'm going to cry throughout the whole movie because,
Yeah.
first of all, if it's using the John Williams theme, I know it's going to do it's going to
Yeah.
do the proper stuff. It's going to do the proper thing.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. What is your favorite Superman movie?
Okay. I have not seen all of them. I haven't seen Superman 3 and 4.
I mean, it's not going to be your favorite movie anyway. So it's that's not really relevant. So that's kind of perfect. So yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I don't know anyone who would ever say those two movies are their favorite movie, and I would question sanity. I would question sanity.
If someone was like, "Oh, Quest for Peace," oh my God, you gotta go see it. Yeah, I mean, of the Superman movies that I have seen, which I think are all the rest. I think I've seen
Mhm.
all the other. There's not that
And
many.
the rest.
Yeah. Um, Man, I mean, I'm an easy audience. Like, if Superman's in it, I like it. And I'm not like a Snyder boy, but I even like those just because there was Superman in it. Like, I just
Of
want to
course.
see Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I I think the Donner cut is pretty good. I like that one. And that's the one where he like tricks Zod into going into the thing and he takes his powers away, right? Or is that the first
That
one?
happened in the second one, regardless of the cut.
Okay,
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
always
yeah.
the way it
Yeah.
happened. That
Yeah.
interesting you bring that up, my friend. The
Uh-huh.
Donner cut.
Are you going to the planet Houston?
So this is Houston. I used to be a big member of the Superman Cinema message board back in
Okay.
the late '90s, early 2000s, and we learned about all these things behind the scenes. That there was this other movie that existed because of Richard Donner getting fired, but having made most of the movie.
Yep.
So we kind of started bringing attention to it wherever we could, posting about it, bringing petitions to Warner Brothers and stuff.
Were you the
And
original Snyder guys? Were you like the bring back the Donnerverse? Was that you guys?
No, that we yes, we did that. We were Donner Bros.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
were indeed Donner Bros.
Okay.
And so we our website, the web leader actually went to Hollywood to kind of make things happen, and it was incredible that he talked to someone in Hollywood about it all, and it was just kind of something that wouldn't have happened had we not done all that shit, and it was
Yeah,
just insane to have that happen, and then finally watch all these amazing things like with Brando. There's
yeah,
this part where he's losing his powers, and Lois Lane is there standing next to him, and you just see Brando go like this, like glare her down. It's like it gives me chills just to think
yeah,
about happening.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not a huge fan, ironically, of the Donner cut,
Okay.
but I really love the fact that you do love it because I kind of helped make it happen in sort of a tiny little bit of a way, tiny bit.
Well, thank you. I also think that the director's cut of Batman versus Superman is not bad. There's problems with that movie, of course, right, and some big ones, but the director's cut really fleshes out some things that I think should have been.
I loved it a lot, honestly. I'm not a Snyder bro, but I
Yeah,
love those movies. There was things in Man of Steel, like you said. There's things in this. It's an Elseworld story. I
yeah, yeah,
find it's an Elseworld story. So there's things that happen. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. This isn't the real like. This is a different kind of Superman.
yeah, yeah,
But like you said, if it's Superman, I'm going to love it. I've watched every series,
yeah.
and it's just something that I will always love, along with something that I have to bring up because of your name, Indy McFly.
Okay.
Back to the Future.
Uh huh.
What's your favorite one and why?
Back to the Future 2 is my favorite because
Me too.
because if you like Back to the Future 1, it's in there, and if you want more, it's in there. There's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, and my dad worked on them. He worked at Universal Studios, and he was like a set dressing guy. Like he was like aging the clock tower and the
That's
Hill Valley Strip.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So it's also a little bit of like it's part of the family a little bit. But
Family touch, man. That's incredible.
yeah, I've never done a Marty McFly cosplay. I probably need to do one because it's half of my name. But I picked my name because I joined the Indy Gear forums way back in the day, and everybody's name was Indy something,
Hmm.
and I couldn't come up with what I was gonna. I was like, Back to the Future, and I just stuck the McFly on there, and then it's Indy McFly. That's my name now.
It's a great name. Honestly, it's one of the reasons that we became friends. I was like, well, this guy can't be a bad dude if he has this. For Christ's sake.
Yeah,
Um, how old are you, if you don't mind my asking? Did you
36.
see them in theaters?
I did not. I was
Oh,
born the year Last Crusade came out. So however old Last Crusade is, that's how I know how old I am.
okay. I love that. That's your movie. Oh, I was just talking about that at work, that people should have a movie of their movie year.
Yeah.
That's so fantastic, Dan, that I was introducing that to some people. That mine is Empire Strikes Back. That's
Ooh,
a
nice.
good one. But yeah,
Nice.
I was 9 when Last Crusade came out,
Okay.
and that was Back to the Future also.
Yeah.
Those two movies, Batman was cool and awesome and wonderful,
Yeah.
but Indy and Back to the Future 2, I was levitating. I felt like had my feet were on a hoverboard
Yeah.
watching Back to the Future 2 in the
Yeah.
theater. That I can still remember how I felt. That was I talk about that summer often in this show because it was the greatest. That was in November actually, but that was the greatest year of movies ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I love that part 2 is your favorite one because that's my favorite one. It's very special to me
It's the
because
best.
I was able to be of a cognizant mind and being able to be excited about it when
Yeah.
that came out.
Yeah.
And so now when I watch it, it's so much of what you said that part 1 is in there, and then it's also new stuff. My
Yeah.
only complaint, honestly, it's not even Elizabeth Shue because I love Elizabeth Shue. It's that they just couldn't cut his hair. They show that scene. I think they show scenes from the first movie, and it's just his hair is so much shorter.
Uh,
That was 2 days ago,
the
folks. That was 2 days
continuity.
ago.
Yeah.
That was my only complaint. That's my only complaint.
Mm.
So that was the end of my Kevin 11 questions, but I want to ask one more question about the Ghostbusters. I love the Ghostbusters as well. What's your favorite Ghostbusters movie?
Well, 1989 was Ghostbusters 2, so that's my movie. I feel like, you know, I feel like there's a lot of movies where I was growing up as a fan of a franchise, and there's like these underdog movies, right? Like when I joined the indie community back in the day, um, everybody was like Raiders, 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 Raiders. If you're an indie
Right.
fan, you have to Raiders has to be your favorite, and don't watch Temple of Doom because it sucks. And for me, I was like, Temple of Doom's my favorite. I'm gonna watch Temple of Doom. And with Ghostbusters 2, it was like Ghostbusters is the best. Ghostbusters is the best. You can't watch Ghostbusters 2. That one sucks. Nobody likes that one. And I think I was like, I like Ghostbusters 2. I think I like Ghostbusters 2. And same for Back to the Future, right? Everyone's like, oh, the first one is such a classic. You gotta love that one. And I was like, I think I like Back to the Future too.
Yeah,
You know?
you're
Yeah.
both right.
Yeah. And then I liked all the Ghostbusters movies. Again, I'm like an easy audience,
Yeah.
right? I liked all of them.
All I need is that sound, that of the proton pack. I'm fine.
Dude, have you ever seen a movie in 4DX?
I saw Bad Boys, the third one, the
Yeah,
third Bad Boys. That was good. No, not for me.
it's not for you. Where the teeth move and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, huh? Oh,
yeah.
they spit in your ear and shit like
Yeah,
that. Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God. It
I
was,
saw.
had I been 5 years younger, I would have
Yeah,
been like, oh, this is incredible. But
yeah,
I'm getting there in age. So it was like, oh, no, ow. Oh, no. Well, my neck. Oh,
yeah,
no. Can we change seats?
yeah. I've seen two movies in 4DX. The first one I saw was Ghostbusters
Cool.
Afterlife, and when they turned on the proton packs for the first time, the seat like rumbled, and I was like, whoa, yeah, yeah. I was like, whoa, right? Yeah. And the second one I saw was Dial of Destiny, which I had seen after I saw the premiere. So I went back into it knowing what was going to happen. And when they were doing the tuk tuk chase, I was like, uh oh, the stairs are coming. And they get to the stairs. Oh my God, it was the funniest thing. Every single chair was like, everyone was screaming. Oh, it was so funny. It was so funny.
Oh, man.
It was like a 2 hour Indiana Jones ride. It was the best. It was the best thing ever. It was so good.
Should have done that. I should have done that.
Yeah.
Man, this has been a fantastic conversation. I'm so glad to finally have you on. I've been doing this is my third episode of my third season, and I've started implementing this new thing, a closing question. If you could tell your 9-year-old self anything, what would you tell him?
Oh man. Oh man. If I could tell my 9-year-old self anything. Ooh. Oh man, that's a good question.
Not bad.
What have other people said?
Um, you know, making it through, just keeping on going, and
Okay. Okay.
similar kind of words of hope.
Not necessarily an indie thing. Not like save your money, don't get the Akubra.
No, no.
Herbert Johnson's coming.
No,
Not that kind
no.
of thing.
This is a deeper, broader, just anything.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think. Oh, my 9-year-old self. My 9-year-old self. Man. I think when I was a kid, I used to draw a lot, and I would make all kinds of little doodles and stuff, whatever. And I would trace screenshots from my favorite TV shows and put them up on my wall.
I love
And I think I would.
that, man. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Oh, my wall was covered in like Dragon Ball Z tracings. And one time I got like watercolor paints and I painted 3 DeLoreans on the wall. I had one of each, just like watercolor on my wall in my bedroom, because we were gonna repaint it. So I had a month where I could do whatever.
That's amazing.
I think I would encourage myself just to keep going with that. Like art is gonna be it. You're gonna be a designer. Don't be discouraged because people are gonna discourage you sometimes, and whatever you know inside it can be true.
Perfectly said. That's honestly that wouldn't be my answer, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe it should be because I used to draw so much, and when you said you used to trace stuff off the TV, I
Yeah.
did that for The Simpsons
Oh,
when I was
dude.
a little kid. I mean, I didn't trace it, but I just would pause it and do my best with it.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's awesome.
I have all my drawings from my teenage years because I used to do a comic strip instead of paying attention in school. I would just draw
Yeah.
comic strips, but then still get like B's. So I just kept on. I was like, well, fuck. I get this stuff. So the hell with that. I don't need to be A plus if I can
Yeah.
draw. So yeah, I mean, I still kept all that stuff, and that's I can relate completely to that. And that's a
Yeah.
fantastic answer. You've been a fantastic guest, Shane. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate having you on the show and just being my friend. I love that I know you, and we're gonna go further from here.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. This was super fun.
Absolutely. So we'll have you back soon.
All right.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye. Well, that was a terrific conversation there, eh? That was that was lovely, and I appreciate you folks indulging us talking about things that aren't Indiana Jones related. It's really fun to do that because it makes all this kind of more open armed, I guess, more welcoming. Because maybe someone could tune in being like, "Oh yeah, I like those things," and then realize maybe I should watch the Indiana Jones movies also. It's a nice way to spread that out. But also, I love talking about all the things I love. All those movies I love are a huge part of me. And I know that so many of us love those movies also. One day I want to do a Back to the Future episode fully. One day I'll do a Superman episode. One day Die Hard, Lethal Weapon. These are things I want to do. I don't know if anyone would really be super interested in it, but if you would be interested in me taking a step away from all these indie things, which I said I was going to do initially, but I haven't really quite yet. But if you're down with that kind of thing, let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate your opinion on that because I don't want to divulge too far away from what we all know and love here and what we've built. But it is nice to talk about different things, like special episodes, a very special edition of the Kevin Indiana Jones Show, where they talk about steel magnolias and fried green tomatoes. Wouldn't that be fun? Not those movies in particular, but yeah, I feel like the cosplay thing is a factor, so I'd have to be in cosplay for it. So that does kind of limit the options. So I could do Back to the Future, and I have been talking about wanting to do Die Hard. That's just something that I haven't stepped into because that's more money, and I don't really want to do that. But all it would really be is just like a shirt that I dirty up and a holster, double holster, left-handed, which is cool because I myself am left-handed, so that's a cool McLean fact. But I could piece together other things probably. Get a wig for Lethal Weapon and just have a nice big mullet and a flannel shirt. That's no big deal. And I'll just talk in an Australian accent the whole. I'm trying to restrain an Australian accent, which he does all the time in the first Lethal Weapon, where he's talks mostly like an American, but then every now and then it slips out and he does it the wrong. He says the wrong thing the wrong way, and it's adorable. It's early on in his career. I know he's a goofy guy. He's got problems, we all do, but not to that extent. I don't know if you've all heard that. We're getting away from the topic, but I love me some Mel Gibson. I love me some Lethal Weapon, and I love me you guys. I love you all for watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for watching and giving me your time, giving me this space to do this kind of thing, which is something that I really, really love. And I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to keep on. I will take a couple months off, but not for another couple months. I got many more shows planned, and it's like I said to Shane, we're going to keep this going. It's thank you very much. I've just been told my accent wasn't too bad for an Australian accent, and I appreciate that. Anywho, folks, thank you so much for watching. You are the best. It's great to have an audience that gets me. And, like I said before, it's a Mystery Science Theater behind the scenes quote. The right people will get this, and you're all the right people. Folks, have a great night. I really appreciate you all. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. No. Yeah, I did that. Am I still on? Wait, I'm still on. Okay, so it didn't. Shit, I was going okay. I still have more shit to go. What am I doing here? Thanks. Yeah, thanks for watching, blah, blah, blah. Thanks to Shane for coming on the show. That was just a fantastic thing. Next week,
We're going to be talking about the wardrobe of Indiana Jones and the fashion and style of the time with Maverick Bone. And that's going to be an awesome conversation. I've been wanting to talk to him about that for a while because that's a sharp dresser. He's a snappy dresser. That's that son of a bitch. So that'll be great to talk to him about Indy's other outfit when he's not being a leather daddy. So yeah, folks, have a great week. I'll see you next Monday. And yeah, it'll be live on Instagram next Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I've been wanting to come up with something to say at the end of every show, like a good thing to say. I'm going to read it right now because I don't have it memorized quite yet. But it's this might sound cheesy and stupid, but until then, try something new. Tell someone you love them. Make the most of life. You never know how long we got. Have a great night. Bye-bye.